little bit of afters. That's calmed down. And it's disappointment for Munster and their supporters. But Alan, on the second half display, the Stormers worthy winners.
Yeah, power and pace, execution as well, and they just kept believing, and they just had a spring in their step in that second half, and they were outstanding. Great pressure everywhere. Munster made too many mistakes though, and they'll really regret lack of control and those errors in the second half.
Tries in the first half from Byrne and Hodnett and Crowley, but in the second half, Smith and Martz, and that intercept try from Nell was the difference for the Stormers. The player of the match, Alan.
Yeah, well, there's only two of the players in the forwards. Evan Roos was really, really good, but for me, Paul de Villiers, just his tackling around the field, work rate, carries. He's my BKT player of the match. Paul de Villiers, outstanding performance from him.
So then, the story at Thomond Park is one of disappointment for the home side. They've been beaten by the DHL Stormers on the final score of Munster 21, the Stormers 27.
Thank you very much, Alan. Thank you, Ryle. Well, the strength of the rivalry that has built between these two teams after only 5 previous games has certainly not been diluted by that epic contest, the ultimate game of two halves. And now there is only one team unbeaten in the URC this season, and it's the guys in the blue and white hoops. The Stormers, they move to 6 from 6. Top of the table. For Munster, the post-mortem will begin almost immediately. 21 points to 6 to the good, and they lost. Failed to score a single point in the second half. That's what will disappoint Clayton McMillan the most, no doubt about that. Just to run through the scores, Tadhg Byrne, of course, got things off and running for Munster. His try converted by Jack Crowley, a response to the Stormers' penalty of Yuri Matea. Then there was John Hodnett's score. Munster were cruising at that point, 14-6. They extended it with a Jack Crowley try, 21 points to 6. That took them to at half-time before it became the Stormers' show in the second half. I wonder how much impact the 5 changes that they made after 46 minutes made. We'll find out, because it was all about the forwards. Let's speak to one of the forwards. The man of the match was Paul de Villiers. He's with Sarah Mulcairns.
Paul, congratulations, you are player of the match. It was some encounter, wasn't it? I mean, well, I just wonder, firstly, what did you all say to yourselves at half-time to produce that comeback?
Thank you so much. I think firstly, I just want to thank God for this unbelievable privilege playing this game, and then I'm taking this medal for the team. It was surely a team effort. I think there's a few stuff that didn't go away, but the way we reacted to it, the way we responded in that second half, hats off to the team. I'm really taking this one for the Stormers today, yeah.
How important is this victory, considering where both of you are on the table and kind of going in now to the next few weeks ahead?
The thing is, we knew we were going to be tested. I mean, playing Munster in Limerick here, it's my first time, I only heard of it. Massive challenge. But I think for us, being really challenged, being behind, needed to really dig deep and fight back. I think it's good for us building and for the rest of the season, yeah. And
some pretty stunning tries in that second half. You know, you did an awful lot of the work, but to see some of those tries finish so well, that must feel good.
Yeah, I know, it's massive, and congrats to Munster as well. Thanks for them, thanks for the fight, and good luck for them as well for the rest of the season.
In terms of, you know, the winning try at the end, you know, for you guys, how did that feel for you all on the pitch? And then particularly when Munster went and scored and that was ruled out, there must have been nerves out there.
I read a quote this morning of someone saying, I believe in belief. And I think that's what we had and we showed today. Even though it was tough at times, when Rwan scored that last try, that belief really came through. And I could see the victory. That was lovely, yes.
And then just finally, there's been a shift, hasn't there, for you guys on the road this season? What do you put that down to?
It's hard to pin it down. I'm not really sure. It's our fourth win on the road. Yeah, it must be our mindset, I think, and the momentum and the confidence that comes with it. So hopefully we can keep this record on going. Yeah, that's lovely.
Well, congratulations, a huge win for you all tonight.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations, what a phenomenal match that was out there. You know, how did you do it?
Geez, I still don't quite know. I think, a lot of credit needs to go to Munster. In that first half, they put us under a lot of pressure. I think we made a lot of silly mistakes. Ill discipline obviously costed us that first half. But geez, very, very proud of the team effort towards the end. Our bench made a massive impact. So a lot of credit to them. But immensely proud of the team effort, yeah.
Were you frustrated at the break, considering how it had developed and particularly those 2 yellow cards?
Yeah, we thought, obviously we thought we didn't get the rub of the green. A couple of decisions obviously didn't go away. But I felt we dealt with that pressure. I felt the scoreline could have been much worse. So a lot of credit to the team for believing. I know Paul spoke about belief, and the boys continued to believe. I know, and there was a chat at halftime to continue to believe.
You had to dig deep, right to the end. Munster had that try, which looked as if they'd snatched that victory away from you, but you were able to hold on.
I think, it comes down to your mindset, and, I'll speak about belief again. We never really believed that we were going to lose that game. Although, all the odds were against us, we were a couple of numbers down. So, Flip, I'm so proud of the boys, really. It's a win like this away from home at Thomond Park is one of those special wins that you'll keep with you forever.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's a 4th successive away win for the Stormers, an area that was a real weakness for them last season has become a strength. Congratulations to Salman Murat and to John Dobson. The moment of the match in partnership with Select was surely this try from Ruan Nell, the decisive score. More analysis when we come back. Welcome back to Thomond Park, where the Stormers have just beaten Munster in a second half raid. How did you do that, John Dobson?
No, it was I thought we'd lost. So we're just discussing now that we sort of emptied the bench. But I just thought we got nothing to lose here because I thought we were pretty well beaten. That first half, we thought we got a physical imprint on the game and a way of playing. And I thought Munster were amazingly physical. They cleaned us off tackles. They dominated every carry. They were clever with their passes. I honestly thought we were well beat. So emptied the bench and they made a difference. But this team's got belief.
You're far too modest to say it, but obviously your substitutions made the difference.
Look, it was the plan. And the plan was yesterday to put on, but it just got, in 43 minutes, that's very early. And we just thought we're beaten. If we carry on in this vortex, I remember the second half restart, they kicked off, they won the restart, that was 22 here. It was exactly the same as the first half. So I thought, let's push the button.
The impressive thing, John, no panic after half time because
amongst the players.
I'm sure the plan was to come and start well here.
Yes, of course.
And that doesn't happen. Munster scored 3 tries. What did you say to them at half time?
Look, at first, discipline was poor. I think you're going to get penalties away for foul play, given for putting something in, but not pushing a guy or pulling a jersey back. But I thought Munster was supremely physical. So we're a big double tackling team. We pride ourselves on offence. We conceded 4 or 5 the whole season, 3 in one half. But our guys getting cleaned off the tackle. But really good Munster cleaning. I thought they were really utterly dominant physically. So it was us to stand up and fight and print some of the sort of South African law onto them, which was the.
Was it tactical or was it kind of let's get stuck in more? We're standoffish.
I thought we were so gone. I just thought I would try to give them a plan, which was to stay in the doubles. Watch the double pumps. Watch these short passes. Munster really good at. So our defence to be a bit more stay in the double so we can get some pressure on them. But I know there was an element at the end there. We're embarrassing ourselves. We're rolling over and having our tummies tickled, and we're not what we think we are.
Yeah, it was very impressive.
Yeah, for me, I thought there were some bright shoots at the end of the first half and you were beginning to get on top. And while you didn't get the score, I thought that it filled the team up with belief going in at half-time.
Yeah, there was an element towards the back end of the first half where there was a little element of being a bit childish. We just felt everything's not going away. We make the line break and we get turned over. Wandy drops a ball where I think on a line-out play where I think he normally would score. So it was just one of those. I was actually thinking what I would say afterwards. One of those days, one of those games where all goes wrong. But I think that just before the back end of the first half, and knowing what we had on the bench, because I think it's a big difference now when you can replace both locks. you know, because it's just such power. Then the whole tight five changes, and 2 locks like that, you know, 2 second rows like that. So we always had that in the pocket. You know.
Yeah. John, it's been a really good week for South African scrummages against Ireland, hasn't it? What can we do to get better, to get back in par? I mean, you had, 6, 7 scrum penalties tonight? Obviously, we had the catastrophe from an Irish perspective last week. What can we do to get better at it and to try and match you? How much time do you guys spend on that unit?
Look, we spend a lot, and it's a big part. I mean, our 2 best props went out there, which is absolutely, you know, it took some Tunu was with Springboks and Frans Mahherbe was injured. And there's probably a couple of, it's an incredible part of our culture now, and it's sort of feeding itself. You know, so we train more of it. But I think what we got the advantage of is natural athletes. I mean, we've got another 2 props sitting here, could have started, you know, Ali and Mark and Zach. So
you're rubbing it in now, John.
No, I'm not trying to, I'm really, we're farming
I'm joking. The depth you have in the front row is truly incredible.
It really is phenomenal.
Yeah, but it's coming out. It's not because of great coaching or. It's just these athletes that are coming out. And as soon as South Africans now got belief and they want to keep playing for the Springbok, those kids who may have given up at school are thinking, now I want to be a Springbok and be part of it. So it's sort of feeding itself, as is the scrum culture, because we believe now every scrum we can get a penalty on our ball. It's a bit childish, you know, because I think on Munster's ball, we wanted to go at them because we were in so much trouble, but they were really good with the Channel 1 and getting it away. And so on our ball, we could engage. Literally, it's so childish. Just in the coach's box and push the diesel button, you know, and it just starts.
And on that point, John,
diesel button, I like
how
that.
much does it tie into other elements of your game, knowing that you've got such scrum dominance? Like, does that filter into your kicking strategy as well?
Yeah, look, we're a transition team, and our X-factor player. So the idea is to put the opposition under so much pressure that they have to sort of kick poorly, which Munster didn't. They kicked really well, and then we could score off transitions. But unfortunately, Sasha and Damien aren't here, and Marnie, and those are the big guys in the transitions. So we're a bit more old school at the moment. We're a bit more grind without the X factor. So it's a big part of our game. It's just to try and strangle. Unfortunately, that's what happened. It's weird. You don't see it. You don't see the opposition's legs going, but they clearly are. You know, it's curious, isn't it?
Final question, very briefly before you go. Who's going to win between Connacht and the Sharks?
Connacht are going to win. I'm not going to, unfortunately for South African teams, but Connacht are tough players to play. And last year, I thought they're the best Irish team we played. The attack was amazing. So
really, wow.
Well, they're really good.
Big compliment, yeah.
Great. Yeah. Well, Dobbo, that's what we've got to turn our attentions to now.
Enjoy
It's
it.
kicked off 25 minutes. Thank you very much.
Congrats, John. Well done.
Congratulations. I think Alan meant that. Alan meant that. Congratulations.
We know each other a while back. We
Thank you, John. I'll take that off you.
We'll go back a few years anyway,
Cheers,
John. Well done.
Thanks.
Congrats.
Cheers, John. Thank you.